there has been an ongoing controversy with respect to the online gaming apps. Nearly 25 social media influencers and multiple celebrities and public personalities have been booked by the Telangana State Police under the BNSS along with the Telangana Gaming Act, and along with that there is provisions of IT Act, that is 66D. Numerous social media influencers and public personalities have been booked for promoting online gaming apps. Now, let us try to analyze whether it is a crime to promote online gaming apps, and what does the central regulation and what does the Supreme Court state on the same online gaming apps, and so what is going to be the future of these influencers under whom or against whom numerous cases have been booked. Let's try to analyze. If you look at the legal statute, in fact, the Supreme Court in numerous cases has classified the betting games into two categories. One is game of skill and the second is game of luck. Usually game of skill, it requires some intellect, some practice in order to win the game. And according to the Indian Supreme Court, game of skills are permissible. Whereas game of luck is in fact a game of complete random nature where no intellect is used, and in fact the game of luck comes very close to the term gamble. Gamble means what? You have to take a chance and it doesn't require any skill for you to play this game, then it is called as game of luck. In fact, the Supreme Court has clearly stated that we should permit the game of skill, but we should not permit the game of luck. Following these regulations, the central government also, in fact, permitted the online gaming platforms. In fact, in India, online gaming platforms are registered with the central government and they are imposed nearly 18% of GST on their revenues. So it means that in India, there is acceptance of online gaming and there is also taxation on online gaming by the central government, which is to the tune of 18%. And the Supreme Court also on some occasions said that the online gaming apps like Rummy, Poker are in fact games of skill and they form part of Article 19(1)(g), that is right to conduct a business for the people who are running these platforms. Now, legally, if you look at very carefully, so even though the Telangana Gaming Act, that is a state government act, might criminalize these online gaming apps, but the central government's statutes, the central government's Supreme Court's established legal precedence is that this is not a crime because it is a game of skill. But the main problem here is with respect to the morality or the ethicality of the issue. If you observe this, it is very difficult to say where the element of skill ends and where the element of luck begins in a particular game. In most of the online gaming apps, even though they are being advertised as games of skill, the problem is there is a disproportionate element of luck which is involved here. And the online influencers who are supposed to have a positive influence on society for the sake of views, for the sake of easy money, what they are doing is they are promoting these online gaming apps by using false advertising of great success. And as our society is today influenced mostly by instant gratification, instant richness, many people are falling prey to these games. And after falling prey to these games, they are losing all their money, they are becoming bankrupt, and in many cases, we have seen recorded evidence of suicides because of online gaming apps. Particularly the youth, and along with youth, some people who are into different professions like software engineers are also getting attracted towards the online gaming apps. So even though it might be legally permissible to play these games, how far is it right to promote these games is the first question. The second question is, considering the adverse impact it has on the people who play these games, should they be promoted at all? Is there any need for regulation, primarily with respect to the maximum money that can be put in the online gaming? Then along with maximum money, if there is a need for regulation with respect to where the skill ends and the factor of luck begins. So there is a need for regulation. Even though we might permit the games of skill, there is a need for strict regulation. And in fact, the influencers should also be given some regulations and standard operating procedures in order to avoid these kind of legal problems which they get after promoting a betting game. In fact, the punishment which is being, or the cases which have been booked under the against the influencers, they are of deterrent nature, and they might in fact be forced to fight a long-going legal battle in the courts of India. But we should remember that whenever you are in a respectable position in society, what you need to do is you have to influence the society for better, but not influence the gullible minds towards a disaster. That is one minimum social responsibility which the influencers need to have, and if they had this responsibility, then this would not have created such a controversy and problem. So this is the thing with respect to online gaming apps in India. Thank you.
కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామ్ సంబంధించి ప్రత్యేకంగా సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ ఎగ్జామ్ సంబంధించి ఏ ఆప్షన్ చూస్ చేసుకోవాలి, ప్రిపరేషన్ ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి, ఏ బుక్స్ రిఫర్ చేయాలి, ఇలాంటి డౌట్స్ ఉంటే CSBIS అకాడమీని కాంటాక్ట్ అవ్వచ్చు. దీనికి సంబంధించి నా పర్సనల్ అపాయింట్మెంట్ ఈ వీడియో పైన డిస్ప్లే అవుతున్న కాంటాక్ట్ నెంబర్కి ఫోన్ చేసి తీసుకోవచ్చు.